It's Christmas! This is Halloween. This is Christmas. This is Christmas.
Yo, can I keep it a buck? I have not bought shit. I have not bought Christmas gifts for anyone. It's really bad. I have like no time now.
But at the same time, you shouldn't have to feel obligated to give gifts to your loved ones to show appreciation for them. I'm just saying, David, though, I would really appreciate a gift from you.
I was like, where are you going with this?
I would really, really love a gift from you, David.
I'd really appreciate it if you checked my Amazon wish list.
It's going to unprivate that. It's like, look at all the stuff I want.
Well, Dennis, you're not a beautiful porn star with gigantic bazongas, so I'm not going to buy what's on your wish list.
But I'm more valuable than a porn star, though. Just saying.
You know, in most ways that is true.
Yeah,
in most ways that is true. The only gift
you may
that
not jerk off to me, but at the very least, like my friendship is invaluable.
You don't know.
So
you don't know that.
You don't know that. You don't know what I do.
I don't believe you, David.
The only
I love
gift,
my best friend.
The only gift, dude, I'm a homosexual, dude. That's when you having a single same-sex celled attraction to the homies. Like, you're not gay, you're just attracted to the homies, you feel me? It's like,
I fucking hate you.
I'm a certified homosexual, dude.
I hate you so much.
Yo, the only gift that I want is consistent rules from Twitch. We don't have to go into it, don't worry. We don't have to.
God,
as much as I want to, I would dedicate a whole episode
I have never
to
seen
this
a company roll back on
I,
something like that so quickly.
That's
I've never
what
seen
I was
that.
going to ask. Like, genuinely, fellas, was that some sort of record? Because I think it had to have been for Twitch.
Well,
I think it was a new record.
It
was under 48 hours.
And the reason they did is because people took advantage of it almost like immediately with drawing specifically.
I almost streamed Honey Pop out of protest. Like, just
you have the game?
No, I was gonna buy it, and then I was
and they refunded like right after.
Yes. Oh my god! Because it's not even like the porn in that game isn't even animated. You just work so hard. The girls moan. Every single woman fucks you for like absolutely no reason, and then you just get a picture.
You get a JPEG. It's like an NFT.
And then it's got that fairy character that's like the horniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Where, like, everything is like an innuendo. It's insane. I was gonna do that out of protest, honestly, but my god, bro.
It was so funny.
Artistic ass nudity, bro.
I honestly
Does that seriously mean I could have painted my cock and just like helicoptered it around and that would actually have been allowed?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The funny thing about it too was that like I even thought like there's no way like advertisers were gonna get behind this. Like there was just no way. Like I was even joking with David before that like I personally feel like the advertisers heard about this and they pushed back hella hard. It was not even community response, I feel, that really like pushed that. I truly feel that advertisers like probably like just straight up saw like what the fuck they were trying to do. And they all just ganged up on him and just straight up said, what the fuck are you doing? And like there's just
they would have lost money with that.
Yeah, there's no earthly way that we're gonna like, you know, throw money behind this. Like, I mean, you know, they could give a fuck about like creative expression all they want, but they like.
It's also funny that it's always Twitch and YouTube that teeter on like one's worse than the other.
Yeah,
one makes a bad decision.
I've been saying that for years. It's like they're in a fucking pissing match for like the last like God knows like 10 years. Just seeing like I could be the worst platform. No, I could be the worst platform. And everybody had a lot of faith in this Dan not Clancy. What is this last name? I almost said Clancy. What is his fucking name? Twitch CEO. They had a lot of faith in this guy because this guy was actually he took over and he made a lot of good decisions. Like you can multi-stream on Twitch again. Yeah. You don't have that. His last name's Clancy. Never mind. His last name's actually Clancy.
Okay. Oh, wow, you got it the first time.
I did get it the first time. You want to know what my theory was, fellas? I think Twitch was scared of potential lawsuits. Because what some people on Twitter were pointing out is that, and I'm not gonna look. I watch porn a lot. I'm not here to like say don't do sex work, whatever. If you like, you're a woman, you do whatever you want with your body. That's fine. I think sex workers universally, the ones on Twitch, have been gaslighting us into thinking what they're doing is okay solely because they're chasing their bag. And the reason I say that is because Twitch does not ID verify streamers.
Yeah.
And the minimum age is 13. And what that means is some pretty fucked up things can happen on that site when it comes to artistic nudity. Not only for potential, like, minors streaming that shit, which Twitch, I actually do believe, would have flagged. Not even just, like, pure, like, original federal, but new ones in the revised COPPA. If you remember the COPPA shit from way back in the day. You are not allowed to legally advertise things like in your stream deliberately to minors. That is legit. That is against federal law. That's been against federal law. Do you remember COPPA, Dennis, when people were freaking out a couple years ago that, like, everything on YouTube has to be, like, kid-friendly now or whatever, and that the government was gonna, like, come for, like, you know, content creators and stuff, and that everything on the internet had to have basically been, like, not colorful, like, not, like, inappropriate, everything has to be
like,
for children.
no filthy Frank could exist, like,
Pretty much, yeah. Because what the law was is that you're not allowed to advertise things on the internet deliberately to minors. You're not allowed to target minors in that. YouTube had been knowingly violating that law for years. Because that law existed since before YouTube's inception. Eventually they had some gigantic settlement. YouTube had to pay like $350 million,
and then they had to adhere to the government. And they had to adhere to the law. Okay.
That's the reason YouTube Kids exists now, Dennis. You know, where like some videos are flagged for YouTube Kids and whatnot. Why when I upload videos, I have to mark if Double D experience is for kids or not, regardless if we monetize it or not. So Twitch probably either ignored that law or forgot about it, because the thing is, the reason, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you, and I have no hard evidence of this. A lot of the Twitch streamers a lot of people ask, why don't they just become cam girls? Why don't they just become cam girls doing on a campsite? It's because their outreach on Twitch is way bigger.
Oh
because
yeah,
there's
that net
no
is huge.
ID verification.
Net is huge.
There's no bypassing the filters of children on Twitch who aren't going on there specifically for porn and will stumble upon it accidentally with their parents' credit cards.
Yeah.
They're after their parents' credit cards' money. That's what it's about. And I think people realized this is fucking predatory, what a lot of these Twitch streamers are doing, going after kids' money like this, toplessly streaming, basically, knowing damn well they're going to have a bigger audience because specifically for there's children watching, and that's kind of fucked up. You're making sexual content with the intention of children watching. I think Twitter eventually figured this out, and I think eventually Twitch realized, shit, we're going to get sued for this. Eventually.
Well, and also,
like, we're gonna get sued for this eventually, and there's no ID verification for, like, you know, children. It's like a checkbox like you find on any other porn website. Yes, I am 18. And Twitch does the same thing, but it's like, yes, I am 13. Which brings into the whole argument of like, oh, why can't fucking, kids are gonna see it anyway on porn websites. But that's deliberate. They go on there specifically because they're going through their puberty and they're looking for things to jack off to. I did that when I was 12. It's okay. I googled big boobs on YouTube, not YouTube, like on Google, like any other 12-year-old boy, you know, but that's different. You know, it's younger kids potentially on Twitch who are not even looking for that kind of stuff, who are going to wind up seeing it.
I was just trying to watch Roblox, and like, you know, all of a sudden this girl's just like just pressing her humongous gazongas like thing right in front of the screen, and it's like always, but it's always where like her like portion of the screen is bigger than the actual gameplay. It's like reversed somehow.
Dude,
like where,
oh my god, I
so
hate that. One girl was playing Mario 2, and it was in the tiny webcam box.
She's in the foreground.
Oh,
you know,
my
she's
god,
just like,
you can just see actual.
Oh, I love
nipples.
Mario.
And that's the other thing about it. The reason it's predatory. You go on campsites, you don't have to give them money, or you watch porn for free, which is another reason why it's not predatory. It doesn't like promote that parasocial relationship like Twitch does. This one is specifically about giving them money to get them to potentially maybe. Like get their nipples to pop on screen for like a half flash second to the point where like the Twitch fucking cameras can't identify it.
It's the reason why, like, the whole relationship you mentioned, like, you know, there is none in like when it comes to just porn. It's just like you watch it, you're done. It's like 5 seconds. It's not even a relationship.
Girl, Cody Borg. Another reason I was late to the podcast this morning, I had to get my nut out. I'm just gonna keep it a stack.
You said you were taking care of your dad. What the fuck are you talking about?
And then I had to take care of my dad.
Such a fucking liar. Shut
up. Not
up.
at the same time. Will you be a fucking liar? I literally had COVID this week. What are you talking about? Would it not make sense that my father is sick right now?
Why are you now like telling us like, oh, I jerked it, plus I took care of my dad? It's
because
like,
I did that before.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. I was testing you.
Okay, whatever.
But
Same thing. For example, Cody, that woman's body is a fucking gracious gift to mankind. I would kill both of you for one night with her if I'm keeping it a stack. I would
kill you first.
Yeah. I would never date her.
Not even for her. I would just kill you first because it's like I have a fucking simp for a friend.
I'm not a simp. Come on, I don't give her money.
You said you'd kill your friends.
That was I'm being facetious, Dennis.
I'm also. That's why I'm saying I'm running along with your joke.
Well, the whole fucking point is that
kill you first.
As a person, like we wouldn't vibe like that. It's not like, oh my god, I love you. You're like the woman of my dreams. Like behind the screen, it's like, no, I like your tits. That's it.
Yeah, I wish people could be straight up honest about that, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
Because then you're seen as a pig.
America.
Yeah, but like that's why you're seen as a pig if you just straight up say, "I don't give a fuck about you." Yeah, those two things. Those two things. Yes.
If you're listening and you think that's misogynistic, it's important for men are literally supposed to ejaculate like 4 times a day. Ask a scientist.
Women also, you know, what's so funny. On the flip side, women also feel the same way. Like when they're just casually dating, it's like I don't really care about him. I care about. You know that. Between that. Like, I could give a fuck about him. It's the same fucking thing.
And that's okay. But, you know, point is that, you know, Twitch, it's different. It's not about that. It's literally they're talking to you. They're asking about your day, like saying, like making donation incentives. Yeah. You cannot fucking lie to us and pretend that it's not about deliberately preying on weak men like that who go in and making their habits worse. But nope, just get your bag, sis. Is way more important than any of that. And granted, yes, if a guy's donating all his money to that shit, it's your fucking fault. You have problems, go to therapy. But if the woman is seeing how much money one motherfucker is donating to him, and you're getting those weird DMs, they tattoo you on their fucking thigh like that guy in that Critical video did.
Oh, yeah.
At a certain point, you gotta cut them off. We cut off addicts, don't we? And like we send them to rehab. Why is this different? Oh, because get your bag, sis, is way more important than that. This is a problem. This is becoming a societal problem. Yes,
I have a question.
Yes, you, Asian guy in the back.
On the flip side, if it was a hot guy who had a bunch of female simps, like, you know, yeah, like if we had like that like level of like handsome on a Twitch stream and like a bunch of cute, like, you know, a bunch of girls like just like oh my god, I fucking like fawning and everything. They were like literally throwing money at him. Is it the same fucking thing?
Yes.
It's still cringe.
It's still cringe, right?
It is rarer, but women incels, they're a thing. They're very much a thing. Of course. They just present themselves a little differently.
Yeah.
Also,
I would
funny
say
thing about the Twitch thing, they reverted. I think they reverted even further back than what they had before, because now they just don't allow nudity. Like, or any suggested nudity at all.
They should have never allowed it to begin with, but it was too profitable.
People were drawing hentai, which is one thing. That is literally artistic nudity.
Art.
That's literally artistic nudity, I guess.
But it's but you know, it's so funny though, because like I am more okay with just like artistic nudity than like an actual fucking person being nude on camera.
Yeah.
Like,
when they're pretending it's artistic nudity, when they're just standing.
Bro, I could literally just bring out a tablet right now and just draw boobies.
Like
on my screen. Yeah, and it's just like, ooh, look at that artistic nudity. Like, you see what I mean? Uh-huh. It's like nothing in the end. But like, you know, obviously you like the hot tub streams. Was such horse shit from the very beginning, and now they've rolled back on that. Yeah, they also made a category on him.
But yeah, they rolled back. Which, by the way, I think they rolled back further. Yeah.
By the way, is another reason. That's another argument that gets presented around a lot. Why does Twitch not just, you know, make a different website or make a category for this?
Twitch adults, literally.
Yeah.
Twitch adults, yeah.
You want to know why my theory again?
Only Twitch.
Want to know my theory again as to why they still haven't done that? They want children watching that shit.
It's a lot more.
Because it makes them too much money.
But it's also in the money.
I'm just saying because it's obvious, right? It seems like the obvious thing to do, but it's the one thing they fucking refuse to do. Make an 18+ section. Make a different website where you put all of that shit. They're not going to do that because they know they're going to lose all the gamers who are going to stumble on that shit accidentally. I'm telling you, I think it's deliberate.
Also, advertisers would not be on board with that, I feel.
Aside from like one or two big ones. You know?
And the thing is that I'm not saying like advertisers are like the lifeblood of like a platform. I mean, they to a certain extent they are, but it's just more like, you know, that's like a huge revenue stream that you're basically robbing yourself of if you're trying to do something like this. So I think Twitch is kind of maybe in a bit of a rock and a hard place in that respect. Again, guys, we're just talking out of our asses. We don't know anything for sure. But like at the very least, like, you know, we can kind of see like that, you know, at the very least, Twitch is like, they've deliberately advertised themselves as like this like kid-friendly place. Like people of all ages can come and enjoy like these streams of people who are like playing games and talking about life and whatnot. And like it's just sort of become now like synonymous of like the platform itself has just become synonymous of like being like this like disgusting perpetual shithole that like somehow always like somehow changes its identity like every like year or so. Like before,
and it's still like the best.
Cyclical.
They have gamified subs.
It's cyclical.
Yeah, because it's like before they were saying like how we stan women and like y'all can do your hot tub streams, push up your bras and, you know, like show them cleavage and everything. Even just have a little nip slip here and there. Like that's fine. Don't worry about it.
And then Mango and Ricky Berwick got banned for humping a statue.
Yeah.
The amount of like the shit that Twitch streamers have been banned for like way less shit.
Dumb
it's
shit.
like,
dumb as shit.
It's
Way
just
dumb
it's the
shit.
sheer hypocrisy, and the way that the culture is going is that you're saying like we hate women for fucking pointing out that hypocrisy. I know you do, and that's fine. But like that the fact that like we've reverted to cavemen like fucking brain rot cell is that holy shit, like we're like you can't say or point out the hypocrisy because it means you hate women. I've heard plenty of women complain about this shit, saying like now I can't stream on Twitch without like people asking me to show my ass. Or like do this or so it's
the
worse.
double standard is crazy.
It's fucking insane.
That's why Twitch is not a real world. It's not a real place. It's not.
Yeah, it's why
it's not a real place.
Yeah, that's why I like low key honestly want to stream on YouTube and stream my Sigma Nasby grind set back on.
Bro, you got up to master, didn't you?
Yes I did. I've reached max rank in that game.
Crazy, bro.
Ooh.
And I'm still not quite there yet because I'm going for 1200 points because that's how you get the top 100 medal.
Top 100 in the world.
Yeah, that's I'm grinding for that shit.
Okay.
I love that fucking game so much. But yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for that.
Godzilla, let's go because we actually have
the only thing we simp
now.
for. The only thing we simp for in this
is
house.
atomic destruction.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I love seeing cities blown the fuck up.
You already know what this motherfucker made me do. The
Yes,
first
I
time
do.
I've ever seen him legitimately, actually, seriously boycott something. Like, actually boycotted something. Saying I am not.
I still pat myself on the back for what I did.
You should have made like a
record.
You should have made a flag, honestly, or something, just to like wave it, like send a picture on the camera, be like, down with DDE unless Godzilla.
Like a little sign.
Like outside David's house, like you see.
It's like the George Floyd signs, but just like really dumb. It's just like, I boycott DDE. Like they could, you know.
He's the only one outside. Like, what are you doing, sir?
I'm boycotting.
To the theater, and I that shit got me crying in the club. Like, actually, that was the best movie I saw this year. I liked it more than Spider-Verse. I liked it more than Barbie. I liked it more than Oppenheimer. I liked it more than all of that shit. It was so refreshing.
Speaking of Oppenheimer, I was watching a review of it that was just like, I don't know if like Oppenheimer did a good explosion, but I think I like Godzilla's like a lot more.
Because apparently I heard that Oppenheimer was just like because they used only practical effects for the explosion, so it was essentially just like a big gas explosion that they did from the distance and just did a close up of it.
He was like, of the cinematic explosions, I think Godzilla took it.
I think so too. Yeah,
I think so because it showed how violent that explosion would be. Because usually in Godzilla movies, it's just a beam and that's it.
And you even see like after the explosion, there's that whole part where it gets sucked. Yeah, like everything just gets sucked back into the center of the explosion, and like you see like just fucking like everything flying and then flying back towards it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
All the bastardized like American Godzilla movies will just have Godzilla do something like new in particular that he hasn't done in a past Godzilla movie. Like I remember in the American one a couple of years ago, it's when he's fighting those two other monsters, and then he opens the monster's mouth and literally barfs the radioactive shit into his mouth. And it was cool. That was fucking cool,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. But this movie didn't do any gimmick about that and just relied on good old-fashioned writing. I'm telling you, Hollywood, not that they're going to because it's corrupt and full of pedophiles and shit, but like
they probably
need to
saw
take
this movie and was like,
lesson.
oh, that's pretty good. And like
Let's
this
not
like
do and then they released a trailer for Godzilla.
This movie,
whatever.
They should use this movie as a refresher course on just how to write a good script. Because that's what this movie was. It was a fucking
15 million
script.
Yeah.
That's what it
15
was.
million for budget.
Yeah.
And apparently the director even said, Takashi even said, straight up said, it's actually less than that. It's 13.
It's less, yeah.
It's 13 million.
Yeah.
And the movie still
That's
went
insane.
past its extended release. That's how fucking just hard, like, this movie's fucking
I think it's still going.
writing.
Yeah.
carried
I think it might be going to the end of December.
My God.
Oh my God.
Like, when you, like, how do you write? Oh my God. Like, I can't even,
Here's
like, get
the
over
thing.
how well written this movie was, honestly.
And here's the thing about like Japanese/Asian movies in general. I've watched quite a bit of them. So normally they're very, 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 very sad. Like they're not very upbeat. Like as in they're always tragedies. This was still a tragedy, but it had a nice note at the end. Like
Yeah.
because stuff happened where it was like, oh yeah, no, this is still fucked up. But at least something happened that was good. Because most like other movies, like Train to Busan, it's just sad. Just there's so much sad shit going on. You just want to break down and be like, why are directors like in Korea and Japan like so like I hate the world?
And why are Koreans like obsessed with zombie films? They make so many zombie movies.
It's not also going to Dan. It's not that we like Korea and Japan like are just like I want sadness in the world.
I know.
But it's just more so like I guess the way we always kind of portrayed on screen. Like I don't know, like for a lot of us it's like we kind of already have, especially people who are living in like Korea and Japan, like life for them is pretty rough. As far as even being a salaryman, like even, like having a job and such, like there's a lot of more expectations placed on them occupationally than, let's say it would be for us in the West. We end work at, let's say, 7 to 3, right?
Yeah.
They end work at 7 to 7.
Yeah, I know. They do regular 12-hour shifts.
Exactly,
and then it's seen as like a bad thing if you go home too early.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, for them, it's just, like, life kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Truth be told, like, for a lot of them over there, like,
they're
life
a collectivist society, so,
And, like, a lot of them even just collectively, like, kind of, accept the fact that, life kind of sucks, and it's really rough. And, in the case of even, like, Minus One in that whole setting, it's just like, life is pretty shit right now.
I also think this is the earliest. I also think this is the earliest a Godzilla film ever took place, because the other ones took place in the 50s. Like
because the first one took place in 54, and then this one is straight
like
up like
immediately after World War II ended.
And it's like we see essentially like before he attacks again, like they are recovering. It's like and
recovery.
and like we even see like Shikishima, like he got an actual house. He's not like a fucking shack anymore. At one point in the movie, and like he actually has like a home this time, and
this is also the first time I think I have cried at a character not dying.
Oh, I know what you mean.
This movie makes you cry at a character living.
Yeah, like living. Like that person died. It sucked, but I didn't cry then. It was more. I was more in the moment. Like I was mad. Like the character. Like they were trying to make you. And then when they lived, it was like, oh.
Oh yeah, it's just like
exactly.
Go and live your life, man.
Exactly.
That was where I started bawling.
Oh,
and the fact that specific character is the one that said that is what made it
Tachibana,
perfectly.
yeah.
Any other character could have told him that, and it would not have evoked that same emotional reaction.
Here's another thing that is actually very interesting about this Japanese movie. They showed that Japan in World War II was not all good.
No, yeah.
Because most Japanese media portrays Japan as like, no, we were victims, all that stuff. And they show Japan. No, Japan was pretty shitty.
Yeah.
That's
and even
Dennis, that was Dennis's criticism, right? Like last week when you talked about like the citizen-led effort and whatnot, how like that was kind of an allegory for like the radiation poison, the radiation leak that happened in Japan a couple of years ago, and how like it's a criticism of the Japanese government's like lack of response to that. And whatnot.
Just authority in general, really. Like Japanese people in general, like don't really like. They never really portrayed authority in a positive light because they've had a history where the authority figures, people in government, people in the military, just basically like view
don't do
like
anything.
then also view the people as like cheap as well. Like at least in World War II, like
expendable kamikaze pilots.
And in Minus One, there's that whole critique that Noda says. He does like that little final speech before like it's the final day, and he like basically says like, this company this country treated people very cheaply. It's like shitty made tanks, suicide attacks, like kamikaze attacks, poor logistic chains that basically led to more starvation based deaths than actual battle, and like they just almost like basically said like, hey, you're on your own almost even. It's just like we're gonna lead you, but I'm not gonna lead you that well though. That's like,
there was actually the funny thing about that movie that I saw was like, remember when he was saying this is how you arm the bomb, right? Mm-hmm. I actually thought he was messing with him, and that was the ejector seat. That's what I thought was happening. That's what I actually thought was happening. But then of course later on it shows that, and I was like, oh. Okay, never mind. That's even better.
That would have been fucked up if like he's like flying towards him and he's just like pulling the fucking thing and he's just like
and that's the ejector seat. He gets ejected. He's like, "What the fuck, bro?"
It's like the shitty SNL sketch version of like Godzilla Minus One that they're probably gonna make. Probably like listening to it. They're like, "Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down. Write that down." Yeah, totally good.
Oh yeah, and another thing too was planes without ejector seats was another point of criticism. Like this movie, just
straight
very
up anti-war, right?
Anti-war.
Oh yeah, no, this movie was about how war sucks.
Enough since it's been like it's been long enough since like obviously World War II ended, where like these Japanese films are not even going to be made with like you mentioned like that pro-Japan view, like we were the good guys, glory to the emperor and the imperial army, and all this stuff, right? It's been long enough where they're just like this country has suffered so much because of that shit, where there's this unspoken
it shouldn't define
aura.
us, yeah.
That not only it shouldn't define us and that we could do great things in the future, which is one of the many reasons that Koichi should live, but there's also this unspoken aura where you feel the despair. No one says anything, but it's like we all know sitting in the theater.
It's all on their face.
That fucking monster is legitimately the last goddamn thing this country could possibly need right now. You see the destruction it causes. It's like, holy shit, these people just had 2 nukes dropped on them. Yeah. And like you feel their
Godzilla
despair.
shows up.
And then this fucking thing
comes hopping around.
Tokyo City like a big playground.
I also like that Godzilla, like while he this is also another great thing about the movie, is like Godzilla's still cool. But also it's like we also don't hate him. Want you here.
Yeah. Like, we also hate him.
The movie makes you hate him. Yeah, that's a good thing. It's like we pay to see Godzilla and see the destruction, which is another thing that American movies do with monster movies. He's usually benevolent. Yeah. It's usually just these like bastardized fucking like, pure destruction, turn your brain off, Michael Bay, no plot, like kind of shit. And that's what I'm sure a lot of like American audience probably who still haven't seen this movie assume it is. You know, and I can tell you that by the fact that like the woman and her young son didn't know the whole movie was in Japanese and left halfway through the movie. And don't take that as a racist thing. It was a very young kid. He couldn't read the subtitles. He couldn't keep up. It's not like he was a guy my age. Like, what the fuck? This is all in Japanese. Fuck that. Then I would have been like, that's fucking
on the movie too. Like, if you're an adult and didn't know that, if you're an adult and you didn't know that, that's your fault because it's on the fucking. No, but like on AMC, like they have it like like right off the bat, it's like spoken Japanese with English subtitles. Like it's literally written on there. So it's
I didn't know that. That was a surprise for me when I went into the theater. Oh, really? I didn't care, but like you
would not have enjoyed it dubbed though.
Oh, of course not. Are you kidding? No. That would have been horrible.
Fuck no.
Yeah, no, it would have been fucking terrible. Yeah.
Dub live action movies suck.
Yeah,
like in any other
Toho
like
learned their lesson from like the first Godzilla movies from back in like the 50s with like the infamous horrible dubs. I even
think though too, it's like they also know their audience now at this point because like for a lot of people who watch these films, it's like we know sometimes they can be a little hacky, a little hammy, just really like just real schlocky type stuff. Like, and it's like, you know, oh, yeah.
I was going to say, also, have you seen Shin Godzilla, Dennis?
Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that 3 times.
Do you think this is better than Shin Godzilla?
Or I think this is better.
Par?
I think this is better than Shin.
Yeah.
I think, David, if there's another Godzilla film that I'd recommend for you, it's Shin Godzilla. So
although Shin Godzilla is more about how the government handles it rather than the people.
This one is specifically coming off of the whole Fukushima nuclear meltdown that had happened a while back, and like the government's response. This is like an entire like response to that whole shit, because now it's like, okay, we had the Fukushima thing that happened a couple years back. Now we have this giant fuck you monster like just rolling around Tokyo. Yeah. And, you know, the government's taking, again, their sweet-ass time to do anything. They're deliberating in meetings, like, for nearly 30 minutes, and they haven't done anything yet to this point. Whole trail of destruction has already happened, and they just have not done a response at all. Yeah.
They have not done shit.
Because, like, they're just going through all this bureaucratic red tape, and, like, they just basically go so by the books with the way, like, they, like, kind of just proceed through disaster, Japan, that, like, you know, it basically bit him in the ass before, and then this is also a response to that. And Godzilla's also in this one, David, straight up something out of a horror movie.
I think he's more like a
kidding.
Statue, than anything. But and it's like, still, he's horrifying.
And he's also the biggest, I think, at that point that he's ever been. Yeah, he's the biggest, I think. Yeah, because Minus One, I heard, was actually pretty smallest. He's like 50 meters, and I think like Shin's like about close to 100. He's like nearly double his height.
Fucking huge, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
Because he spawns in Tokyo, basically.
You should watch it, David. I recommend this. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, for sure.
This one also takes like Godzilla seriously as well, because like there has been like many iterations of him in the past where like obviously we had him as the good guy, but I always preferred and kind of liked it when he is straight up a force of destruction.
He's a force of nature rather than like rather than a straight up villain.
Or even a hero, too.
Or even a hero,
Like, even just giving him, like, any of those, like, sort of, like, human qualities of, like, being a hero or a villain. It's like, you know, I mean, you know, those kind of Godzilla movies, it was all still part of, like, his identity by that point, because, like, that's what Toho was pushing. And, like, it was successful in the end, so, like, you know, I can't really say that, like, oh, like, nobody really enjoyed it, because people did enjoy it during that time of the 50s and 60s to 70s. But like, you know, whenever they've brought him back to form where he is, like, as you said, a force of nature, a force of destruction, literally just like a fucking god of destruction even. Like, it's always when he's been at his best, in my opinion, because because for one, in the real world, this guy would be taken seriously right off the bat. Anytime like we would see him coming out of the ocean, I would fucking run for my life as well. Anyone would. And like, you know, he is a creature that obviously not even should be just respected, but he should be feared as well. Like, this thing is a nuclear reactor on legs. And like he could, I mean, he literally turned that town in Minus One to a fucking parking lot. That's also, I think, the most powerful we've ever seen his atomic breath. Yeah, it was a straight up nuke from his mouth.
And he burned himself from the inside out when he did it.
Yeah.
So
like, you even see him like still regenerating and everything. Like, you even see like a lot of the scars he has throughout the movie. Every time he's like gotten hurt, he's regenerated, but you still see the scars. It's like, you know, when your wound heals, it's like the scar is always still there. It's never fully like gone away.
Like when they blew up his like his jaw, and he still regenerates.
The part that regenerates is still there.
Teases on like what? Sorry, that wasn't like me interrupting you. I just you know, that residual. Teasing on like what the audience knows, as well as what, like, you know, like the characters know as well, and like we learn more about Godzilla and what he is, this unknown organism, as Dennis called him last week, as we move on. Not to mention, like, you know, Dennis's take of also last week. He said last week in our spoiler review of the movie, where we basically said Godzilla, he does not eat. He yeets.
No. Yeah.
He does not eat. He yeets. It's like Dennis mentioned, he's like not even eating. It's not a creature trying to survive. It's
he's just a creature that's wrecking house.
It's like he's fucking doing it for sport.
Yeah.
And that's the fucked up
the
thing
first
about
10
it, right?
minutes.
The first 10 minutes.
He doesn't eat any of them. He just fucking yeets them away, which is part of the reason that this
Godzilla showed up as well.
yeah, which is also good that they established him this fast. I remember the Bryan Cranston movie, Godzilla does not show up until an hour into the film. Literally an hour into the film. That is such a huge mistake. That you can't be doing that. But yeah, this one shows up in the first 10 minutes and a weaker form as well. And it goes to show how he's gotten stronger over the years. But like, I gotta say, I guess this isn't really a spoiler. This is just something that happens in one scene. It's not like a huge story detail or anything. Because I kind of wanted to keep this one spoiler free, but whatever happens, happens. I don't care. Like, this Godzilla, even though he is not supposed to, made me laugh like multiple times throughout
how
this
ridiculous
film.
he's being.
Like the fucking boat scene where like they basically like tell them like, hey, you guys have to distract him for like a couple of minutes, like while we
or
come
else
in
we're gonna die.
on the side. Just letting y'all
We
know
have another
that's,
warship
we're on
coming
a
in. You
fucking
need to hold-
tugboat, you dick.
With two, like, I love
Like,
how
the
he even
fucked
knows
up
that
thing
shot.
about it.
Like, oh, we have to stop this thing with 2 mines that we salvaged from the ocean, and with nothing but a 30 or 13 millimeter gun. Like whole time, like I think it was Mishima, like the one they called the kid.
Yeah,
Oh,
kid,
yeah.
kid,
And like
yeah.
you know, he's just freaking the fuck out, like saying like,
He's
"What
like,
the
bro,
fuck?
what the fuck?
He's like, how the fuck are we gonna stop that with this?"
It's like, now I'm happy I wasn't old enough to go to war. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
But,
can
like,
I even just
dude-
mention that one scene about him when Koichi, like, you know, when he just first starts working with them, that one scene where the kid like says like, oh, like I wish the war didn't end like, you know, so early and stuff, and
he's like, yeah,
and he
take that
grabs
back.
him by the collar and straight up says like, you know, like, you better not be serious about that. And like he
Yeah.
actually like, you know, calls back and he's just like, oh, okay, no, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, you're right.
Brings up another amazing point of the difference between this and a lot of American films. How do I say it? Like, this character had a reason to be edgy. It's like these Eastern films knew how to write an edgy character. Koichi is so fucking edgy, but they remember to give him every reason to. They have every reason to make him edgy. American films just make like him edgy, like action protagonist, and it's like, whoa, he's so cool, blah blah blah, so metal.
Yeah.
And then they just like they would have had the scene where like the acid rain is raining on him after you know who like gets
and he
killed.
would've gotten scarred or
They
something.
wouldn't have given him any reason like for that to happen. They give I have never
Oh
seen
my
an
God.
edgier character that has every fucking reason to be
edgy.
in my life. And that's like that's another reason that the movie was just so well written. Honestly.
There's so many things good about this movie. So, and like I said, that review I watched, he was like, man, I wish I loved Godzilla movies like this one. Because, like, he was like, he's like, it's not that I don't like Godzilla movies, it's I want a good Godzilla movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like where
it
human
really,
characters aren't just throwaways and you're like, oh, get back to the monsters. You know? Like,
Yeah, really. It's like it was the perfect balance between the monster and just like the humans and the human struggles on top of everything. Like, you know, like Koichi's like, not to mention writing an internal struggle. Such a difficult thing to do. Like in so many different films, like, you know, when you're writing like the basis of it, you gotta discover what is this about? Is this about man versus man? Man versus nature, man versus the supernatural, you know, man versus whatever, right? There's like
The
9
unknown
different ones,
something,
right?
yeah.
And it can also be man versus self sometimes. And this is not only man versus sort of the supernatural or nature, if you want to call Godzilla that. He's like this supernatural being. It's also just because, like, it's man versus self. And writing a good internal struggle is so difficult because the golden rule of screenwriting is to show and not tell.
and reflect it based on what's happening around him rather than just, like, telling, like you said, yeah.
Yep. And to be able to actually show that without just like having having the characters just say it, like explain it all just through purely dialogue, that's not an easy thing to do.
No.
It is not an
it is
easy
not.
thing to do in a script. Like, so honestly, that's why this film is so professionally written. It's a fucking just a big old chef's kiss for
And
that
then,
one
like,
right there.
That scene where the black rain comes down, that scene quickly went from, that was fucking cool, to, oh shit. Like, this, like, you know, this is terrifying. You know, like,
to
all at
recap,
once.
when Dennis sat down, basically, Dennis, we were just reiterating how, like, Koichi is, like, an edgy character that has every reason to be edgy, and a core difference between Eastern and Western films is that Western films will just write an edgy character, and they don't give him any reason to. Like, oh, he's so cool, or whatever. This character is edgier than all those other characters I've seen, which is so easy to
Because he actually
think
has
of.
trauma behind it.
And he has every reason to be. Like we were saying, the acid rain scene. Like, American films would have just shown that. They would have given no real reason for that to happen.
And
Which,
he's just
by
screaming,
the way,
yeah.
about that scene, I'm sorry, but I can't. This is why Godzilla made me laugh so many times in this film. Because I cannot help but compare him to a fucking nerdy ass, like, Smash
He
player.
emoted. He emoted.
Because he emoted. Like, when the acid rain scene comes after he destroys Tokyo that time and shoots the radioactive breath, he pops off.
Yeah,
He literally
Godzilla.
pops
Yeah, he's
off. Like he looks up and he's like Dennis said last week. He was like, "Damn, I did that. I did that. I did that. That was me." And then the tugboat one too. He was fucking with them.
Oh no, he could have easily
and his
killed
crew
them.
because you saw what he did with the destroyer. He just swam up underneath it and ate that shit like it was a fucking gordita, right?
And then he's like, this tugboat, I'm gonna fuck with him.
But this tugboat, he was just like swimming like a fucking greener. Like just like rolling left and right, like the fucking Grinch, like through the water, like, I'm about to whoop somebody's ass. Like just singing it to himself. And like he was just fucking with them. And the thing, that scene pissed me off so
it's
much.
Like you killed
I
them.
threw my hands up in the fucking theater when like they blow up the mine in his mouth. I guess whatever, like just little minor spoilers.
Oh yeah.
And he literally has his Family Guy. He literally has his moment. He's just laying there like, ow.
Holding his knee, except holding his face.
Ow, fuck. Ow, fuck. Oh, that hurt. And then when his fucking face regenerates, I threw up my hands in the theater. I got mad. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. Yo, they outplayed you. They outplayed you so fucking hard. And he
just didn't give a shit.
Dude, it literally felt like I was fighting Reptar in Nazby 2. And Evan, you have heard me complain about that character many times in that fucking game on my stream. You saw that set that I lost against fucking Happy Milla, where I was fucking bodying him the whole time.
And then he just did two things and he won.
He got Godzilla fucking 3 times. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess from a character design perspective, I guess that makes sense for Reptar, but that doesn't make him overpowered. He's just overtuned. Why does he live to 250% consistently? That's insane in a platform fighter. It was so funny.
He's like Ember, and he's doing all this shit to get him like the 200%.
I'm out-neutraling him. I'm fucking like, I kept him in disadvantage forever.
And then Reptar just comes up and goes, I'm gonna just hit you once, twice, 3 times, you're dead.
Which I guess that's the fucking realism mod, I suppose. It wasn't even it was Robo Reptar too. Like it was Mecha Reptar, which pissed me off even more.
Like what was it? You killed him. He respawned, fucking grabbed you, threw you to the side, and then down strong.
He killed me in 4 hits off a fresh stock. I died, respawned. He killed me in 4 hits
off of that fresh stock.
Ember has to do so much fucking work in that game. I'm proud. Happy Miller, you got the win. I'm sorry to complain about it again, but like, holy fuck, your character's fucking inbreds. Like, I don't even care, bro. Fucking nerf Reptar again. He's been nerfed like every patch, and it's still not enough.
Too strong.
It's still not enough. I don't even think he's the best character in the game. He's just overtuned.
I think it's just because he's heavy. He's literally a skill check.
No, that's literally the biggest problem is that you have to, because he's so heavy, you have to out-neutral him so much more than he has to out-neutral you. Which, again, I guess that's the realism mod for Godzilla, I suppose. But it's still bullshit. And like, just like I was in the theater, I threw my hands up when his fucking face regenerated, because that was a GG's and a handshake. They outplayed you so hard. And then he just regenerates because he plays a broken character. That's like the equivalent, like a Smash player later in the film.
That's like the equivalent of like, you know, GG's, but the round isn't even over yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just extends the handshake. I still have a stock left, and he like still extends the handshake.
They literally made Godzilla rage quit. He fucking left after that. He rolled back into the water. Dennis said it last week. He was just like, you know what? Fuck you guys. And he just like rolls back into the water and leaves.
I like to think he was just like, what you guys doing? And then they blew up his face like, all right, fuck you. And then he goes away.
Yeah. It was like in Puss in Boots when they made Death rage quit. It was like the same, it evoked the same emotion in me. Like I have expected Godzilla to like bubble up from the water and just be like, "¿Por qué diablo jugar con mi comida?" Like I expected him to come up and say that, but just in Japanese. Yeah, so I know, even though I'm sure that scene is not meant to be funny, it made me laugh.
Okay. Speaking of Godzilla and just funny moments, and speaking of funny moments, Dennis, you saw Godzilla vs. Kong, right?
I did, yeah. A lot of emoting there.
There was a lot of emoting. It was very, and like, it wasn't meant to be funny, but there were some scenes that were like me and my good friend, my best friend, who's a big Godzilla fan. He's watched all the Godzilla movies, right? All the old ones, all the new ones. When we went to see that, there was this scene where Godzilla's stepping on King Kong's like it's after the second fight, right? Like, you know, in the city.
Okay,
where Godzilla
yeah.
just whoops his ass,
Mhm.
right? And fucking like Godzilla's standing over him and just kind of fucking smiles, and you hear him laugh. It was so funny.
Oh God, yeah, I remember.
He just it was so funny because I know what they were going for, but it was just unintentionally hilarious. Because I can't picture, this fucking big fucking lizard with tiny little arms going.
Yeah, he literally does the whole Wario like fucking laugh. Like,
why does he sound like Seth Rogen?
No, he sounded like Seth Rogen, but like a million of them because he just goes.
Like a
You know
million
what's so
Seth
funny?
Rogans in a room together. Maybe, hey, guys, shout out to the Foley artist. Maybe that's how they made the sound effect. Maybe they did that
You
thing
wanna
where
know
they
something
sampled his
about that
laugh
movie?
and then just did that like
That movie
screen
was fun, but
multiplier
like,
thing
it had
where
like
like
no humans in it.
it was also so goofy though. Like,
It was
that
also
movie.
goofy as
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah.
You know how in that movie, like in a lot of those legendary Godzilla movies, you know what? You know how like in the credits roll, like everyone gets like credited like for their like part. They literally roll the credits and say Godzilla played by himself, Mothra played by themselves, like King Ghidorah
they do
played
that with
by
all of them.
yeah. Which I always found like it's just like funny, like it's like a little funny bit.
I think my
thought
favorite
was,
of the legendary new
appreciated.
ones is King of the Monsters because they show the scale of how big these motherfuckers
Oh
are.
no, yeah, because we always see, at least even in this movie too, we saw a lot of low angles of Godzilla. We saw a lot of angles like looking up, and we like see the sheer size of him.
Because in the old ones, they just kind of they didn't show scale, they just showed buildings. Like
Oh, they always had wide shots too.
Wide shots, that's what it was.
Shit for Shin, it was all about the wide shots. Like they showed like how fucking huge he was, like throughout like when he was going through his rampage in the city.
I think they kind of learned from Legendary in the sense of scale, where they show from the human perspective how big these motherfuckers are.
Yeah, like because we see plenty of that in King of the Monsters. Like
my favorite scene in that movie is when it's also kind of goofy was when Ghidorah is like he's standing on this mountain after he beat Rodan.
Oh,
and he's like has his wet wings out. But the reason why it's goofy is because there's a fucking cross in front of him.
Oh.
He's going like this, and there's a cross in front of him. I'm like, okay, it's awesome, but it's also goofy as fuck.
Bro's just screaming like, "I'm a god!" Like
he was literally screaming, "I'm him!" Like I'm him.
Does he understand the humans? Does he understand the humans' way of worship? Like how would he? Does he have the cognitive ability to like?
Also after a scene where the humans try to bomb him and Godzilla with an oxygen bomb. The oxygen bomb, and fucking Ghidorah lives because he's an alien and he doesn't need to breathe.
It's like some Michael Bay shit, honestly.
No, that's how Ghidorah was. He's an alien. He just came to Earth. He accidentally crash landed here.
His origins even before. He's like a three-headed dragon.
Three-headed dragon, that can regenerate.
But I always found like he looked like something out of a Chinese painting. Like how the fuck you gonna tell me that you are an alien? Like I don't understand.
The one who I think is an alien that is also from Earth is Destroyer. Destroyer's from Earth. I'm like, no. He looks like a fucking rock. Like, what is this guy doing?
Bro,
here?
looks like Satan, like incarnate. Well, like, go at least because we're coming up on time for a little bit, but like, if anything, just a couple more thoughts on Minus One, just because I fucking love this movie. Watched it 4 fucking times.
I thought you were gonna watch it 5 times, to be honest.
I might, maybe. Depends on who maybe asks. But like, I know I even peer pressured a friend to go watch it, even though he had COVID, and I said I don't care. I
watched it the weekend it came out, so.
Oh my god! Oh, you got lucky then. And like, mind you, my first time watching it, it was a pretty shitty experience towards the end because there was this one bitch that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
I told you.
Yeah, like it's like I told you he was gonna live. Or I told you she was gonna live. Like and just like it was already coming up to like the last 5 minutes of the movie, and like we were all like I was already like, all right, movie's almost over. So
thank God that wasn't your first viewing. That would have pissed me off something fierce.
I had like 3 more after that, and they were all great. So it's like I can't really say anything.
I will literally never forget when I was a kid or teenager, however old I was, and I saw the first Avengers movie in theaters, and like Loki catches the arrow from Hawkeye, and that woman just goes, "Damn!" I will never forget that. It's like,
my worst movie going experience was in Astro Boy. So this is a long time ago.
Oh, by the way, Evan, by the way, do you remember something? Do you remember that a very old Star video? Where Star is talking about when he saw the Avengers movie. He's talking about when he saw the Avengers movie and that when, like, Loki caught the arrow from Hawkeye, that he heard a woman say, damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I was in the same theater as him.
I mean, he used to live over here.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you remember? That was when he was living in Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, he used to live over here.
And verbatim, it was the same story. I was like, yo, was I on the same theater as Star?
You might have been. Did you see a tall, lanky guy? Like,
well, I didn't see him because I was too distracted by, like, the very large black woman who just went, damn! When like, she caught like the arrow and just talked through the whole
I think you might have been because Star used to live over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. When he told that story in that video, I was like, oh my god. Wait a minute.
He's older than us, so yeah, that would track.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So it's fucking just saying. I just thought you would get something out of that. I don't know how. That's pretty funny. That yeah, it's pretty crazy if I was. In the same
that reminds me of a story. This is getting off topic, but this reminds me of a story of my friend who was like, he's walking in Manhattan, and he just starts going. He sees this Great Dane, and he's like, wow, that's a really big fucking dog. Oh, that's a tiny man walking that dog. And then he goes, oh, that's Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage is just walking his dog, and I'm like, what?
That's right, he does live in New York.
Yeah. Does Peter Dinklage just get uncomfortable when literally anything is smaller than him? Is that why he has a Great Dane? Is that why he picked a dog
it was really
that's
funny,
literally taller than him?
Standing on all fours, yeah. Like, but it was really funny because just that thought process would also be how I process that when I see this giant dog being walked through this tiny man, and I was like, oh. And then he just went, oh, that's Peter Dinklage. And I'm like, where?
Yo, if Austin Powers...
Tyrion Lannister himself walking across the...
If Austin Powers was a drama, he would have been a great dramatic mini-me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also movies like that can't be made anymore, like with movies like Star Wars with the Ewoks can't be made like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like they just can't do stuff like that anymore, like they did in the 80s.
I also think Peter Dinklage would probably feel a role like that would be beneath him. He's been in way too much. He's in way too much serious stuff now at this
Even
point.
His voice work,
yeah, like he just like, what the fuck is this? Like, no.
Okay, well, I see that
he was too busy eating pussy standing up. Honestly, he's like, do you know who the fuck I am? Do you know who the fuck I am? Bro, like if I was gay and I wanted to be one of Peter Dinklage's like groupies, it wouldn't even work because I don't even think if both of us were standing up, I don't think he could blow me.
You need to get a stepladder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know exactly how tall Peter Dinklage is, but like as you guys obviously know, I am very, very tall. So, like, I don't know how that would work. Chest. Like, would I measure up with Peter Dinklage if me and Peter Dinklage were to have gay sex?
4'5".
4'5". Actually, he'd be a little taller. He'd be a little taller than that, actually. Yeah. I might have been underestimating him too much.
He was born in Morristown, believe it or not.
He's from Jersey. Yeah. He's a Jersey boy.
Wow. He's a Jersey boy.
God diddly damn! Thank God for Game of Thrones for like having a role for him, and like now people could actually recognize him as a serious talent instead of being like, I need a small man. Go put small man.
Really. We need a typecast for small man.
Yeah, they talked about that when he was on the Daily Show. They interviewed him about it. It's like, dude, if it wasn't for Game of Thrones, would people have given you a chance? He's gotten all these roles. He's like, I don't know, man.
No, I think he lucked out with that because Tyrion was such a significant character in like that whole like series. Like there was just
a weird tidbit. You know about typecasting. You know the guy in Hellboy who played the fish guy?
I think. Yeah.
Do you know he was typecast as a fishman because the very next movie he was in was the Shape of Water?
Oh,
and guess what he was?
Oh my god, he was the fish.
Yeah, he was the fish. He's typecast as a fishman.
Oh my god, that's so fucking weird.
Because I was like, I looked at that fish guy, and I'm like, wouldn't it be crazy if this is the same guy?
And you look at IMDb,
and I was like, it's the same motherfucker. It's the same tall, lanky motherfucker.
That's the weirdest typecast I've ever heard. Oh man, there was this one open casting call for something once where they literally in my state near me where like they needed somebody who was exceptionally tall, like somebody like 6'9", and I was just sitting there. Yeah, and I was just sitting there reading that casting reading. I'm like, is this how it feels to be too short for something? That's never happened to me before.
This has never happened to me.
Like, every time I'm in a store and I see somebody taller than me, which does happen from time to time, very rarely, I'm just like, yo, I didn't know they made you. Bro,
it's really funny that there's like 3 people in my store that are as tall as David.
There is a Smash player. One Smash player in my local scene. His name is Roby, I think is his tag. He used to roll with the Syndicate crew. He's taller than me. I looked up at him. He was like something like 6'7", 6'8", and I was like,
fuck.
Bro, I'm not used to this. I have neck
it's
pain
even worse.
from how hard I look, literally and metaphorically, look down on everybody. And I'm not used to that. I'm not used to being like, God
it's
damn,
even
bro.
worse when they're taller than you and they're bigger.
And they're bigger.
It's like, it's actually fucking terrifying sometimes, because it's just like, you know, if you know them, it's just like, oh, they don't got like a violent bone in their body, but it's just like, this guy could destroy someone if they wanted to, like with their bare hands. Like,
Dennis is very tall too, believe it or not. He's not, so I guess maybe David. Like I see him at eye level.
So like eye level.
Fuck you.
I don't know. I'm just used to it. Maybe that's why we're friends.
Yeah, David. Like
that's the only reason. That's
see eye to eye.
Yeah,
people always think I'm taller.
Oh my god, he made a pun.
People always think I'm taller than I actually am, because like I just present big. Like I don't. David see me, so I just present big. Like I am big boned. I have big bones.
Yeah, Evan. If you and I fought, it would be a really good fight.
Because
like you're definitely
the moment
than
he
me.
hits your hernia, you're fucked. He could Sparta kick your hernia, and then there's no fight at all.
Dude, if anything, if he Sparta kicks my hernia, he'd probably fix it.
Probably just spin you around. He'd literally spin you around and just kick you in the hindquarters.
No, it'd be good, because I've talked about it with my friend Hungry as well. We call him Hungry. And it was the same thing, because like he was like fucking drunk, and he was like, David, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I have also thought about this like many times, and like we just like laughed about it like a lot. So like, you're definitely girthier than me, so like you definitely beat me power wise, but like I got range.
Yeah, you got range, yeah.
And I'm kind of in like, no offense, I'm a little more nimble than you are. As far
I'm
as
definitely
like,
less nimble.
Yeah, like no, like
I'm definitely less nimble.
So like, I'd definitely not only be able to outrange him, I'd be a little faster, and I'd be able to just keep the range on. But like, if you hit me, like it'd be like Reptar. Like you hit me,
it's like Reptar.
You hit me like 4 times, and then I'm down. Like you got me. Like you're definitely better at taking hits than I am, and you're stronger than me for sure. So like, I wouldn't be able to fucking like, I would hit him and be like, ow. You just turn your head and then just like, ugh.
Oh no, it was really funny. This a guy at my old work, he was the same. He was the same height as me. He was buffer than me, and he like, as a joke, he just walked into me, like tried to push me, and he bounced off of me, and he was like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, it's like that SpongeBob scene. It's like he was flats and like you were SpongeBob.
I'm gonna kick your butt.
I'm gonna kick your butt. Yeah, no, he literally he tried to shoulder check me, and he went boom, and he was like, the fuck, dude? And I was like, I guess I'm just built like a shit brick house, so, I don't know. Like,
I'm absorbing his blows like I made him some sort of spongy material. You know what that means? I get to go to work tomorrow.
It's something I wish I didn't have to do.
Yeah, I feel you. I didn't work today. I thought, because I knew the weather was going to be horrendous. Plus, I have less stores. Shoutouts to my Nintendo protege for taking them. All right.
I'm unemployed.
Hey.
I'm jobless.
Hey.
All right.
You won't be. You won't be.
For long.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really appreciate the little things when you're unemployed. And
Oh,
then you're
yeah.
like, but then you're
spent
after a
most
while.
of this year unemployed, man. Trust me, I know.
I know, but then at another point, you're just like, I want money.
I also
want to buy things.
Hey,
Like, you know,
I want to buy things. I'm bored all day. Like,
Yeah. At least you have a girlfriend.
hey.
I was unemployed all year without a girlfriend. That's like double fucked.
Get good. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I'm trying, man. That's literally what I've been this last year.
oh my god.
Last date I had, she got changed in my car. Shit was fucking uncanny.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that I don't know if I'm ready to tell that
Bro's
story yet.
drowning.
Nor do we have the
Bro's
time.
drowning, bro.
Concluding thoughts with a TS. Thoughts.
Go see Godzilla. Godzilla,
please.
great.
Honestly, we said it last week, me and David, but I'm gonna say it again. Just watch it. It is arguably the best movie you will see this year. And the year is about to close right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the same thing happened last year with one other movie.
Yeah, with one other, I was just gonna say it. You beat me to the punch. You beat me to the punch, Evan. I don't know why all the best movies I see come out in December, like, are in December now every year. Like, I want to see what comes out.
Summer is when like, a bunch of movies come out, but they always suck.
And they're always
like,
all come out and they
forget
they came out.
They crank out and milk out the blockbusters.
Summer is movie season too, though.
There was one good movie this summer, but it's part of a series, so it's not really a standalone movie. So I don't really count it.
I guess.
What was that?
Mission Impossible, because it's not really it's not meant to be a thought-provoking movie.
Yes. You guys, please go see Godzilla Minus One. It is not the Godzilla that you devoided of
legendary fans.
Devoided of culture American
Legendary's
movie fans
fine
are.
Too. Just you'll appreciate this one, okay?
Yeah. Like you
like meme on you guys because your trailer was fucking stupid by the end.
Like you poor devoided of culture American movie fans, so used to fucking dog shit, dog water, garbage ass films that with like no substance or good writing. Used to marvel strong woman is strong woman because we say strong and therefore give money. Like all that fucking dog water. How Marvel took over the industry, how you go into theaters, it's empty. This is not a generic turn your brain off monster film. It is the most well-written film that I saw this year. It was seriously just, it remembered to be a well-written movie. It had heart. It was about the indomitable human spirit. It was about internal struggles. It was about what really matters in life. It was about life being worth living and whatnot, and life sucking as well, very much so. That it's about despair. It talks on so many hits. Everything comes full circle. It hits beats better than again, literally any movie I saw this year. Its beats are perfect on top of everything else. It is legitimately just the most well-written film I saw this year. It's not a turn your brain off monster movie. It will surprise you so hard and make you legitimately actually cry. That's what this movie did. I liked it more than Spider-Verse. I liked it better than Barbie. I liked it better than Oppenheimer. It was legitimately better than all those films, easily in my opinion.
It was essentially a sequel to Oppenheimer too, so...
True. Yeah.
Just saying.
It's true.
Same universe.
That's like this. Like I said last week. It's like, the apocalypse. Yeah, I think we just caused it. And then the movie voice just comes on. It's like, but not in the way he thought.
And then the roar happens.
Dun, 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 dun.
And oh my god, it plays off the classic Godzilla so well too, with the way
I also like how they use the Godzilla theme triumphantly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For the humans, not him.
They like that callback. That's also one thing that I told even my little brother. Like they don't fuck with anything that's not broken. They brought back that theme knowing that, for one, I mean, people even argue like, oh, it plays it'll play into nostalgia and all that. But I'm just like, but the theme is badass. Like, why would you want to change it? It's fucking stupid.
Well-written movie has so much to the point where you don't realize they did a Member Berries moment. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about how awesome the theme was. An American movie would have just like gotten the rights to that for like God knows however many millions of dollars, taking away money from the hardworking people who made the film. Then they would have played it, and that would be like, oh, see, like it's remember nostalgia, Member Berries.
Trivia.
One of the Legendary Verse movies, King of the Monsters, they did play the original theme, and it was just like a little bit of like it's basically showing respect to like basically like what Godzilla is and all of it. And
that whole scene where they played that was also a really cool send off. For that one, for the way the Japanese see Godzilla, you know about in King of the Monsters, basically Godzilla was on his last legs. He's dying.
Yeah,
and they have to detonate an atomic bomb next to him
to rejuvenate
him for reasons. But that scene was really cool because it showed what the hell was his name? Serizawa. Yeah, putting his hand on there and saying "Sayonara, old friend." Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that was really good, actually.
Yeah, considering like it ties into how in the original film, there was also a character named Serizawa who made the weapon that killed him. And in this version, they've decided that like, I'm going to basically detonate this weapon to revive you, to give you life. And there's a little bits like, okay, we meme on the Legendary Verse so fucking much because one...
It's stupid and fun.
It's stupid and fun, and even like at one point, I did love King of the Monsters. Like I like much of the Legendary Verse stuff. I can't complain. Godzilla's still Godzilla. I still have a good time with it, but this was just a different this was like a kind of different drink you get at a bar. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
a champagne as opposed to like a beer.
Like this is a champagne from France. You know what I'm saying? Like you could make champagne anywhere, but you want champagne
from where it originates from, which is France. Like, this is that, essentially. Like, this is a full-on Japanese-made Godzilla movie made from the very same people that made the original. And they brought in everything they've learned from over the last like couple years, and even brought back some of old cues and just put it all together. And the movie fucking turned out to be a humongous banger. It's still making fucking great sales right now. And like, it is just also one of those few times where like Toho always revives Godzilla again. Like whenever some way. And whenever they feel as if the need arises. Like they made Shin in response to the Fukushima whole military nuclear meltdown. And in this one is in response to just how the world is right now. The world is pretty shit. It's not like World War II post World War II Japan shit. But it's pretty shit for a lot of people right now. Yeah. And them showing that whole fucking like parking lot landscape of Tokyo like and just like them even just like you could feel like you could kind of resonate with it because it's like I'm not living in a shack, but I feel pretty shit about my life right now. I could say that for a lot of people probably. Yeah, like a lot of people could say that about themselves. Yeah. And it's like again, David even said from before, it's about the indomitable human spirit, and like despite adversity, like from where like just from everything, you still just push on and like go and like triumph and like just. Because they even say in the movie, like, you're not going to create miracles by just standing still. It's the same fucking thing. You just got to keep moving.
But you'll have to watch the movie to find out how. Yeah. We are done. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this Double D experience without an intro. I don't think it needed one, though. Not really. Neither did Evan. He's basically our, like, the Daily Show has, like, their correspondents. Like, Evan is, like, our correspondent for everything. Like, instead of having, whenever something happens or, like, a movie comes in, instead of having a guest who's, like, well, I mean, that's not true. I was gonna say, we would normally have a guest who's like an expert on something like our podcast do. We don't do that. Evan is our expert on everything.
I'm just the all-around knowing guy.
Like Evan is like our senior Godzilla correspondent, and then he was also our senior Puss in Boots correspondent and our senior Mario movie correspondent. Basically, he's basically our movie correspondent. That's basically what you are. Our movie and video game stuff. Our movie and video game correspondent. That's what Evan is. Did you know how the Daily Show will have like joke correspondents? Like they'll have like a Muppet and be like, "Oh, senior Muppet correspondent, Michael Steele." It's basically what he is. He's like our correspondent that comes on the show sometimes as a panelist. So he needs no introduction. You already know. You already know Evan. You love Evan. Kiss Evan. Give him all the love. Give him all the love. And if you want to give the Double D experience some lovely love and kisses in the form of 5-star reviews, you can do that on Spotify. It takes 2 clicks on mobile. We really appreciate all the 5-star reviews you guys give the show. It helps with our SEO and it helps the show get discovered. We're also available wherever else you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Breaker, pretty much all those other ones that a lot of people don't even use. And also on youtube.com/Nintoonist, which is where I know most of you listen to the show. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you thought of the Godzilla movie or what you expected the movie to be. Anything about the Godzilla movie, leave the comments down below. Leave an answer to the polls and the questions on Spotify for podcasters, if that's where you guys are listening, because I know a lot of you listen there as well. Thank you for all the love you guys continue to give the show. I stream now. I've been streaming on twitch.tv/Nintoonist again a bit. My Nasby grind. People. I've been bodying people and also getting bodied. I want to try streaming on YouTube still for reasons, even though Twitch rolled back that shit. But I don't know how intuitive YouTube streaming is. That's something for me to figure out. That's me. Catch me at LMBM in a few weeks. I mean, I guess I'll plug that next week, I suppose. But, yeah. That's pretty much all I got. Yeah. Follow Evan on things that he doesn't have. Yeah.
Social media is not my strong suit.
That's neither it is mine.
You guys are too busy being humans. That's an admirable quality nowadays. I'm serious. Yeah.
I touch grass unlike the rest of you.
Yeah. Touch grass with my 50-foot legs. It's gotta feel good. Alright, we love y'all. That's pretty much gonna do it. Please go see Godzilla again. Kisses, loves, fucks, sex. Like, just triple teamed by me, Dennis, and Evan.
If you guys want to make another great movie, we should just bomb Japan again. Makes great movies. Bomb Japan a third time just to make sure they thought we weren't fucking around.
What the fuck?